Alright everyone, welcome to Sour Horsepower, and today what we're going to be doing, probably as you see by the title, of course, we're going to install something on this Hellcat Redeye that I probably should have done, say over a year ago when I bought it, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, here's what we got to do today. We actually have to do two things. So, we got the Hellcat, like I said. We're also going to put something on our new 124 Spider that's kind of needed for purposes I'll explain later. But let's go back to this. So, here we go. As you can probably see there, well, I'll flip that. JLT Catch Can. So, especially on the boosted cars, especially Hellcats, there's a lot of blow-by with the oil. The oil gets into the supercharger and the intake. So, what you want to do is you want to get a catch can that helps release, or, well, not release, helps catch some of the oil coming from the PCV system through this hose, which feeds back into the supercharger. So, what the catch can is going to do, it's going to take the oil coming from this valve, it's going to route it through a catch can where it's going to separate it. It's going to let the air pass through back into the supercharger, but then it's going to catch the oil droplets and drop them down into the catch can right here, down in this little cylinder, which is removable. And then what that does is it prevents the oil from getting in your supercharger, which could cause a loss of horsepower over time, could add knock because oil does not detonate like fuel. So we're going to install that today, and it's a pretty quick job. The reason I went with JLT is because JLT supplies their catch can with the direct factory fittings that are used on the car. So as you can see, these fittings are OEM style fittings, which will just replace, here, let's do it that way. They'll replace the fitting here and this white fitting down here. So that's one of the main reasons why I went with the JLT over, you know, whatever other brand is just going to use like hoses and stuff with little clamps to click on it. So we're going to just jump right into it. Should be pretty quick. All right, so first let's go ahead and lift this up and get it out of my way real quick. Probably don't necessarily need to take that off, but just make it easier for me to get to this. Alright, so when you're working on this side, I'm going to show you real quick. Let's see. There's this little tab on the back, so it's going to be on the back side of it. You have to push this tab in like a good amount in order to release this fitting. I've been trying to, I was like, some of the videos I saw online were like, they were like pushing on the front. I was like, how is that? It's not how it works. There's this tab on the back. You gotta literally push it all the way over for it to release. Now let's keep moving. And then for the white part down here, what you're gonna do, you're gonna see this. Let me get that angle for the camera. You're gonna push in on that, and then when that happens, it releases those, and then it'll just slide right off. So now when you're got the hose removed, you should be able to see that valve there, and then that one down here. So it's right there. So now we go grab the catch can. So just for a quick demonstration, you see inside the hose there, that's pulled up oil. And this is why, you can't really see too much on that side, but this is why right here, you see we're putting the catch can on, because there's already oil pulled up in this hose right here. And all that oil, that's the side that connects to the supercharger. So all that oil, as it's flowing through this hose, is going right into that and potentially robbing us of horsepower. So let's get to it. All right, so now you're going to take one of their supplied 15mm nuts, and you're going to go right on this bolt coming off the water pump right here. So you're going to thread that on, they say about halfway, because this is going to be your adjustment for the placement of the bracket. Now, let's see if I can put you down for a second, make sure I line this properly. What you're actually going to do is install it backwards, so that way it's going to sandwich between the bracket and the other nut that they provide you. So we'll put that on about right there. Now let's go get the bracket. Alright, so got the bracket here. You got your JLT. You're going to make sure that that's, you know, facing the right way. You don't want to mount it this way. So JLT's upside down. You're going to face it so it's like this, pointing towards you. Slide it on over top of that water pump nut, and then now we're going to put it on the proper way to sandwich the nut and the bracket. Now I just got to try and not drop it, right? Because that'll turn this little ordeal into quite the headache. Simple install won't become so simple anymore if I drop this. Alright. Victory! Alright. Didn't drop it. I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. Just enough to have some tension in there. So I just used two 15mm wrenches for that. One on each nut. See, it's tight but not set in place yet, so I'm going to go grab the catch can now. Alright, so again, just like with the bracket, I'm going to make sure the JLT is reading the appropriate way. You're going to have the 45-degree fitting and the 90-degree fitting. So you're going to go ahead and feed the 90-degree fitting back behind the bracket. And then the 90-degree is going to just clip right on. Push the tab in. Slide it down. All the way. There you go. Click in place. It's locked. Ain't coming up. Alright. And then your other hose with your 45-degree, you can bend that down. Slide it right onto the supercharger inlet. Make sure you get it all the way. Don't just like go on the first clicky here. There you go. Make sure you slide it on all the way. Not sure if you can see it, but it's mounted all the way up flush to the supercharger snout. That's mounted all the way flush down to the valve cover. Now we're going to take the two screws they provided and mount the catch can to the bracket. Alright, so now I have the rough placement. I got both the hoses hooked up. As you can see, the back one comes right through here, and then the exit goes right down underneath in the supercharger. But now, one thing you need to make sure is you have clearance between the hoses and your throttle body and the supercharger belt as well as the bracket. Right now we have, looks like, pretty good clearance all around. So what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and, if I like this placement, I might back it up just a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll back it up just a little bit more, and then I'll go ahead and tighten down the bolts, and then we're done. Alright, so as you can see, we're all buttoned up. Moved it back a little bit, almost flush with the, let's see, can you see? Yeah, almost flush with the mount there, but as you can see, we still got plenty of room between the supercharger belt and both the bracket and the can. And then back here, still have a gap between the hose and the throttle body, and then completely cleared back there. So that's where we're going to leave that. And then now, let's turn our focus to that. Alright, so now moving on to our 124 Spider Abarth out there. Cell phone holder. So this is a MPOW. I'll put a link or a picture of the Amazon ad on the screen right now, but yeah, so let's walk over to the Abarth here, and I'll show you why we need a cell phone holder. If you've watched our overview video, you'll know why. So I'm going to push the little button here, unlock it. But like I said in my overview video, there's literally no place to put a cell phone because the pocket here is too small to hold, at least in my iPhone 10. You can put it in the cup holder, but you can't do that when somebody's riding with you because the cup holder needs to come out so they have leg room and then go back here. So what we're going to try and do is mount this cell phone holder like this a little bit. So I'm going to try and get that mounted up. And then I don't know if we're necessarily going to do a full review on it. I'll have a I'll just show you where I put it in case you have one of these. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and put that on, and then I guess in the next few weeks I'll tell you if I like this one or not. But one other thing I do want to point out, I mentioned it when we bought the car, I think in my overview video, but this, we put a stubby antenna on it. Again, I'll put a picture of the Amazon link, but the regular antenna came up to here. It was actually higher than the soft top of the car, so we put a nice little stubby antenna on it. Helps with the look, I believe, you know, cleans it up a little bit. And then if you haven't seen our Instagram, we put a nice little sour horsepower banner on the car. So yeah. All right, so now I guess I'm going to attempt to mount this. All right, so I was going to try and put it right here, but as you can see, there's literally no place I can put that phone mount that won't interfere with the steering wheel, unfortunately. So I think it's probably going to have to go like right here-ish. But I'm going to have to try and mount it as low as possible because I don't necessarily want it to interfere with our view over the middle of the car. So my good thing about this mount is it has this arm, which is like kind of bendy. So I might try and be able to mount it like, you know, down in there and then bend the arm so it comes like through here. So let's give it a shot. All right, so about after 10 minutes of deliberation on where I'm going to put this thing, I decided on here. So I tried doing it with the suction cup mount like further down, but the problem is this release strap, I couldn't, the further I pushed it down, I don't have it locked in place, that's why it's moving right now, but this release strap here, I couldn't actually push it up once I got it down there. So the only way I could think about getting this done without, or with me being able to lock it down properly, is put it like this, route it down along the dash here. But one thing I do have to mount, the kit comes with an extra little holder thing here. So you can double side tape this clip to the dash here, and then this bar will slide into the inside of this to help lock it into place. So that way when you're driving around, it's not going to be able to bounce around like this. It'll actually hold it in place. So I'm going to take that back down, clean the inside of the windshield because my fingerprints are all over it now from trying to move it around, and then officially install that. But that's going to be it for today's video. In a couple of weeks, I'll give you guys my impressions on this car mount. But yeah, if you're stopping in for the first time, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below any of your thoughts on today's video, and yeah, look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Have a great day.